Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me here. If you want to follow along, we'll be in Galatians chapter 1, beginning in verse number 17 today. And kind of a lengthy passage, so I'm not going to read it all, but if you will, 17 through verse 24. And you can read that after we hang up. All right, and we'll dig into this again. Like, share, comment on the post, and then let's look at this passage. What we have here is one of the things that was happening was Paul was being criticized by some in Galatia, saying that he really wasn't a God called minister. And that has been something that's been used by people to discourage pastors for years. I can't tell you over the years how many times I've had it said about me and heard it said about other pastors. Anytime you do something that someone or make a decision or whatever that someone disagrees with or doesn't like, that's one of the things they want to throw. Oh, he's not really a God called preacher, and so they'll try to use that to discourage and to stir up others around him. They're even, excuse me, even saying of Paul that he is preaching a false gospel. And so they're just trying to sow discord in the church here, trying to stir up people. And again, saying that Paul was just trying to make money in the ministry and he was just using the church, those kinds of things. And again, these verses just carry on what we've already seen previously up to this point. And Paul is just simply laying out the case of why uh, defending himself, that he was called of God, and his message did come from God, and that he was truly called by God to be a minister, and that his message was not a false gospel, but it was true. It was the message of Jesus Christ, and that he hadn't got a word. All his gospel came from Christ himself, and to help prove that, again, here you see in verse 17, went to Arabia, to Damascus, Jerusalem, Cephas. He shows his journeys where he has traveled preaching the gospel after his conversion, and that he had been studying and seeking the truth uh, from from God, so that he could preach the truth of the gospel. And so Paul is simply defending himself against this. And what again, a couple good lessons for us in this passage as we see Paul going about to these different places, seeking to learn, to study, to grow in his faith. One of the things we desperately need in our church today and in Christianity is men and women, believers who will dedicate themselves and commit themselves to know Christ, to know His Word, to be students of the Word. It is more. Well, I can't say it's more important than ever because I haven't lived forever, but it's certainly very important today that believers know the Word of God and foster their relationship with Christ, so that we were not deceived by the false teaching and the things that come along today and try to corrupt, try to confuse believers. And it's just so important for us to again to be um, in the Word of God, to be working on our relationship with God, as Paul exemplifies here. And again, he gives us these different places he went and was learning from. And he says they glorified God because of me. And what he's saying is here, he says, I used to persecute this people. Now I'm preaching the gospel, and people were giving God the glory. We what a great testimony of our life What a great ambition goal for you and I today, that we would live such a life that others wouldn't glorify us, that people wouldn't say, oh, look at him, look at what he's doing, look at how he's pastoring a church or teaching a class or working with the youth or whatever, but that our life would cause others to glorify God. Wouldn't that be cool? Think about it. Have a great day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.